Hello and namaste, my beautiful friends. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology. Welcome to your planetary energy forecast for the week of July the 1st, 2024. Well, we have passed by the solstice portal and we have entered the month of July, which is going to be a dynamic month, a real interesting month of blessings and challenges, with the real wild card being the meeting of Mars and Uranus in the sky. Now, this occurs mid-month. So the beginning of the month, it is, I would say, primarily harmonious connections. Now, as we begin this month and this week, we do have the sun in the sign of Cancer. So about home and hearth and family and country and nurturing and, just like this lovely sensitivity towards those that you care for, kind of a protective energy, is going to come into a difficult angle with the nodes of the moon. Now, the North Node is traveling through independent Aries and the South Node through partnered Libra. And so there are some karmic turning points, particularly this month, I would say, with relationships. Now, remember, the nodes move backwards, and so they are progressing towards 0 degrees of each of those respective signs. So right now, they're right around 11, and they're going to move pretty quickly this month all the way down to around 8. So they're going to really move through some aspects with anything that is moving through Cancer or Capricorn. Now, I would really look at this as making sure that you are, not overreacting to things, but also not underreacting to things. Now, it could be that you need to make a decision about your home or about family matters that could be really potent or important, but you absolutely turn a corner here and pick a direction. I think, if not this week, then absolutely this month. There's a lot of energy flowing towards the nodes. Now, we also have, as we begin the week, this beautiful connection between Mercury, which has to do with our mind, also in the very sensitive sign of Cancer, and it's finishing up its tour through Cancer, and as it does, it picks up a gorgeous connection with Neptune. This is highly intuitional, and really like you just know something, right? You get the inspiration to do something, to say something. It's wonderful and potent for creative folks, people who write, artists. We all have something that a way that we express our creative outlet. It could even give you that, really wanting to, organize or redo a room in your home and really make it feel cozy and wonderful. Now, as that Mercury moves forward, though, it's going to step into the sign of Leo. And as it steps into the sign of Leo, well, as anything moves into Leo, it stands across the sky from Pluto, which is moving backwards. Now, we're really going to pay attention to this around Wednesday of the week on the 3rd. But the 2nd is definitely a day to circle in your planner and pay attention to. There's a lot of symbolism unfolding on July 2nd. The major thing is that Neptune will pause and begin to move backwards. Now, Neptune has made it all the way to the last degree of the zodiac, and in fact makes it to 29 degrees 55 minutes of the sign of Neptune. Now, next year, when it dips into Aries, this is a brand new beginning, a new 165-year cycle that is beginning. But it still has a little bit of work to do in the Pisces area of our life and as an influence upon the collective. Remember that 3 outer planets that we focus on, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are considered the transpersonal planets. They are not able to be seen by the naked eye, and therefore their effects upon us feel more like it tones the energy. Sometimes it's not overt. Sometimes it just feels like, like the whole collective is kind of getting yanked this way or that due to the movements of those very slow moving outer planets. The vibrations are more subtle, but no less effective, right? So take note of what happens that day. It's going to be a slow move all the way back and then forward again. Through its retrograde cycle. The outer planets sometimes retrograde for up to 6 months. So we're going to be redoing, rethinking, reconsidering something in that Pisces area of life. But so often the station point is really a day to take note of, so note that. That day is also the exact clash between the sun and the nodes. So again, kind of a karmic turning point in so many ways. And then it has some of our nicer energy as well, because it has a beautiful connection of Venus and Cancer in a trine, which is, kind of the highest order of flow, in a trine to Saturn in Pisces. So there can be this kind of, it's almost like let your heart be your guide, let your heart be your compass, see how you really feel about something, tap into that. And then with that Saturnian energy, that will help you really lock something in and solidify it. So, the things that are happening right now, when they have those Saturn contacts, it's almost like you're pouring concrete around a dream or desire. You're putting down a foundation around something, and it could be something you love or are passionate about. And so that exact meeting will be on the 2nd. So you may feel that actually before and after, because Saturn fires both early and late. We also that is the day that Mercury steps into Leo, and from the Cancer vibe of the mind and speech into the Leo vibe of the mind and speech. Well, that's just a sea of difference, okay? That Cancer person is more nurturing and sometimes a better listener, and actually kind of can have a harsh tongue sometimes. That Leo wants to, will say beautiful things, be smart and magnetic, be so attractive, right? And also really want to be seen and at the front of the room. And so when it steps into that opposition on the 3rd with Pluto, there could be, again, this kind of argument between those energies. And interestingly enough, Leo is the sign of the king, right? So solar figures, it's ruled by the sun. It's people who are in charge. It's celebrities. It's the heads of governments. It's the heads of companies and things like that. Well, stepping into that opposition with Mercury across from Pluto in the sign of Aquarius, which is the masses, well, there could be some arguments or difficulties there. Might be really interesting to pay attention what does go down around Wednesday, Thursday, because each of the other planets that are in Cancer right now, Venus and the Sun, this month will move out of Cancer and into Leo and step across the sky from Pluto. So we may get some hints this week as to how that energy is going to play out in a broader scale. All right, now we have on July 4th, I'm not saying major aspects happening, but I really did notice this. I know some people are really into the numerology, but the Gemini moon on the 4th quarter on the 4th of the month is void at 4:44 p.m. Okay, now it's only till 4:51 that it's void, but there just seems to be a lot of 4 energy there. And so, my dear numerology people can drop in the comments and talk about that, but just kind of contemplate what that might mean for you, and if that number is a lucky number for you or a number, it's a building number. I think of 4 as a building number. All right. Our new moon for the month is on July the 5th. It is at 6:57 p.m. Eastern, 14 degrees, 21 minutes, or 23 minutes in the sign of Cancer. So Cancer, again, very, very focused in the energy of that chart. This is a brand new beginning. Now, it has a sweet little connection, just the luck aspect from Mars and Taurus over to the Saturn in Pisces. So Saturn is kind of our friend this week. We have to put in the effort, we have to put in the work, and we have to be real and honest about what it is that we want, right? You don't want to pour concrete into something and the next week be, very Gemini about it and be like, well, I didn't really want it that way, right? When Saturn makes that contact, you have to be ready to set that foundation. And then I'm also really liking Jupiter beginning to send a sextile energy as well, to the North Node, trine to the South Node. So this might help give us a conversation that clears the air. At the beginning of the week, we have that sensitive Sun in Cancer clashing with the nodes. Well, now we have benefic Jupiter, perhaps allowing us to see the other side of something or understand things in a broader or better way. Now, Venus begins to pick up a difficult angle to Chiron at the end of the week. So ample opportunity for healing, for hope, for the things that come up, instead of stuffing them in the closets of your memory or the closets of your emotion, to bring them out and love them and kiss them and honor them and respect them and process them and move past them, right? So take a look at that, especially if you feel a little hypersensitive at the end of the week. Now, I'm also really looking at that Mercury in Leo sending a nice energy on the 7th to Jupiter in Gemini. So I'm loving that for ideas and conversations. And we have also got that beautiful Jupiter energy still in contacts with the nodes. So I feel like the more social you can be, not forced sociability, right? But, if you hear from somebody, make a connection with them. I believe I mentioned that last time, but, this Gemini energy, that's part of what it does for us. It helps us to weave together our community, and strengthening those community ties is really vital as we head into the next several years, right? All right, so for me, for the week, I'm looking at the, as far as the light, the high vibe, well, I'm really leaning into that Venus Saturn at the beginning of the week. I'm really, going to try to focus my mind on what's really important to me, what do I really value, try to see past the Neptunian fog and lock in the things that matter to me. I'm really liking the new moon with that Mars Saturn. Again, it's a sextile, which is just a spark, a potential, a door that cracks open so that you can either walk through or not bother. So, walk through the door this week. And then, of course, the end of the week, the Mercury in Leo, once it gets finished with its little power struggle with the Plutonian forces, right, which wants to take it down into the darkness to reveal what's hidden, it will come into those lovely contacts at the end of the week. And so I love this for making good social connections, for conversations that are really meaningful, and for allowing yourself to be really heard and seen. Now for the shadow for the week, let's watch that Neptune station, right? There could be accidents with water and things like that. Neptune in Pisces is so powerful. And just like water, properly directed, wonderful, and poorly directed, damaging, okay? Be a little cautious with that. I'm also that Mercury opposition to Pluto. Please avoid arguments, getting into it with people, trying to, there could be a lot of narcissistic behavior associated with this kind of transit. So, don't let them gaslight you. And for heaven's sakes, don't be one. And finally, that sun clash to the nodes. Well, sometimes I was just talking to somebody today about relationships. Sometimes the karma is up, and the longer you try to put something on life support that really should be blessed, appreciated, and let go, the harder it becomes, the more entangled you become, and the more unhappy you become. So I think you should, it might be a little difficult to see some of these angles and experience them, but they're pushing you in a certain direction. So be open to that change. All right, well, I hope you found this useful and helpful. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you would comment below. Hopefully you've signed up for my new moon newsletter. You'll be getting that this week. If not, hop on the website. I'd be happy to share that with you. And let's see what the tarot has to say for this week. Hello and namaste, my beautiful friends. Welcome to your Isis Lotus Tarot spread for the week of July the 1st, 2024. So I'm doing better with my microphone this week, so hopefully you can hear me a little better. Technical difficulties, friends. All right, so let's take a look. Week of July the 1st. Definitely first 2 weeks of the month, get some traction. Get some traction because the middle is volatile. Alrighty. First card is you. King of Swords. So we're approaching this week logically, because this is what we've had to do in the past, right? We've had to be smart. We've had to be savvy. We've had to think things through, all right? We've had to really make some decisions. And then you are Six of Wands. It feels like you're like, people are like, hey, look, you're finding the right people. They see you. They want to work with you. They want to spend time with you. They appreciate you. And so that's really helpful because you can gather your tribes. Now, the present environment is the Eight of Cups. This is the Tupac Shakur card, I call it. It's the walk away card. It's like it doesn't matter how much time or energy you've devoted to something. Environmentally, so whether it's your home, your job, whatever it is, you've just got to walk away and move to something else. Now, as these come together, the culmination card is the World. It assures you of success, of achievement, goals reached. Very last card in the tarot, so very beautiful. Key card of the future is the Knight of Swords. So taking logical actions, making lists, and then doing them. It's not enough to just make your list, right? Oh, I am the queen of lists, right? It's not enough just to make your list. You got to actually knock those things out. All right, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So opposing forces in play. We've got the Ace of Wands, new beginnings, starting, initiating something new, and on the other side, the Hanging Man. So basically, it looks like you have the option of really initiating something or being in this kind of potent pause. Now, the near future detail card is the Queen of Wands. So whatever happens, you're still going to have to take care of business. You're still going to have to tend to things. Yes, we're going to have to get your delegation on, but you also, the bottom line will have to stop with you. You've got to nurture and deal with what it is that you want to achieve. Now, the modifiers, we've got the Five of Swords here on the Ace of Wands side. So don't get tunnel vision, okay? Over on the Hanging Man side of things, the next card is the Knight of Wands. So this is the energy that comes before the Queen, but to have it come after could indicate that you realize something. You know, you're in the Hanging Man phase, and then all of a sudden the green light goes, and you've got to go. All right, over here on Ace of Wands side, paired with the Five of Swords, Temperance. So don't go too hard. All right, that's wand energy. Wand energy can definitely be like going too hard, too fast, too strong. Knight of Wands over on the Hanging Man side. Well, we've got the Six of Swords, which indicates you've got to take action and get to a better place. All right, there's something better. All right, remember, there's the Tupac Shakur down there. So you've got to move away from something and go somewhere else. Now, on the Ace of Wands side, we've got the Nine of Wands, which indicates you will head in the right direction, but you can't give up. Can't give up. On the Hanging Man side, well, we've got the Seven of Cups. You might have your energy really scattered. There can be this desire to do a little bit of everything instead of doing it less things better. So edit. And then over on the Ace of Wands side with the Nine of Wands, the Five of Cups. There's the potential here to be a glass half empty kind of person, to look at what you've lost instead of what you have. So try to focus on positivity. And then finally on the Hanging Man side, the King of Wands emerges. So we have the whole, almost all the whole suit of wands. We've got the everything but the page, right? I mean, wow. So yeah, King of Wands energy, rule your kingdom. All right, so two different ways to approach where we're coming from. Let's look at our starting energy again. King of Swords. So in the past, it's been more about ideas. This week, it appears it's more about action. And then you're kind of feeling more confident. This Leo energy is suiting you. And the environment, well, you've got to walk away from the current situation. You are reminded, the world, that you will succeed. And, the key card, this Knight of Wands, or Knight of Swords is, let's see, wait a minute. Thank you for your patience. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5. Knight of Wands is the key card of the future, because this is taking action. Now, you're either initiating something new, Ace of Wands, tending to it, maybe getting a little narrow-minded about it, but you've got to approach it in a balanced way. Don't, it's kind of like don't throw the baby off with the bathwater kind of thing. But you will make progress, all right? Don't give up, even though you can get hung up on what you had to give up to get here. On the other side, the Hanging Man says, okay, the Hanging Man, so the Hanging Man, the Four of Swords, they can be very similar energy, right? But the Hanging Man is more creative time. The Four of Swords, the guy's like taking a nap, waiting for things to happen. The Hanging Man, no, it's uncomfortable, but it's still formative and creative, right? So we get to the Queen of Wands energy, and we need to take action. Knight of Wands says, yes, you will need to rapidly get out of wherever it is that you are. Then you will need to narrow your choices down, and then you can pursue what you want. So looks like a pretty potent week. I wish you the best, and I'll see you next time.